Welcome to Love Story Podcast, where we explore love stories in the ever-evolving modern world. I'm sure many of us have wondered, does love still look the way we dream it should? Can technology really help us find our soulmate? Or is it just making things more complicated? In today's episode, we're going to dive into the story of Emily, a young woman living in New York City, a place where every corner holds a love story of its own. After a series of painful breakups, Emily decides to try a dating app. But what happens next? Can love really start with a simple swipe on a screen? Join me as we explore Emily's journey. And who knows, you might find the answer to your own questions about love in the digital age. Because sometimes love just needs one simple tap, and that journey could change your life. Together, we'll discover how relationships today are being built, not in the traditional ways, but through digital connections that may start with an app, but grow into something deeper and more lasting than we could ever expect. So, are you ready to hear Emily and Mark's story? A relationship that began with a few simple messages, but developed into a genuine love, built not on grand expectations, but on a real connection. Let's listen to this story and find out what magic technology can really bring to love. Back then, Emily, a 28-year-old woman working at an advertising agency in New York, was exhausted by love. After a painful breakup with her ex-boyfriend, she decided to put her romantic life on hold and focus on her career and herself. On many long nights, she would sit alone in her small Brooklyn apartment, gazing out at the twinkling lights of the city. But inside, Emily felt like something was missing. Maybe love was no longer a priority, she thought. One late evening, while scrolling through Instagram, a post from her old college friend, Jessica, caught Emily's attention. "Try Tinder. You never know. I met someone amazing through it." Jessica shared her story, and Emily couldn't help but chuckle. Tinder? She had never imagined she would try a dating app. But then, curiosity got the best of her. Why not? It won't hurt to try, Emily thought to herself. So, she downloaded Tinder onto her phone. After a few minutes of setting up her profile, adding a few selfies taken at beautiful spots around New York, and writing a brief description about herself, "I love exploring new coffee shops, enjoy walking around Central Park on weekends. Always looking for an interesting conversation," she hit create profile and waited. On her very first day using the app, Emily received a notification. A guy named Mark, 30 years old, a software engineer living in Manhattan, had swiped right on her profile. A simple tap, but it made Emily's heart race. She decided to reply, though she wasn't expecting much. "Hey Emily, I see you like Central Park. I can honestly say I've explored every corner of that park." Mark's message read. The conversation began like that, with casual questions about hobbies, work, and life. Mark also shared about his job at a major tech company and his walks around Wall Street after work. Gradually, their conversations became more meaningful. They talked about their passions, hopes, and even the anxieties they had about life. Emily was surprised by how Mark always listened, shared, and offered sincere advice. He wasn't just a likable guy on the screen, but someone who truly understood and empathized with her. A few weeks later, Mark suggested they meet. Emily hesitated at first, but then decided to give it a shot. They agreed to meet at a small cafe in Greenwich Village, a neighborhood full of charming cobblestone streets and cozy cafes. When Emily walked into the cafe, she saw Mark sitting by the window, a book in his hands. His eyes met hers, and the soft smile he gave her made Emily's heart skip a beat. The meeting wasn't like any other typical first date. Instead of the usual awkward icebreakers, they felt like old friends catching up. They talked about little things in life, funny stories from work, and their unique interests. They laughed, shared, and most importantly, felt a deep connection they hadn't experienced with anyone else. 3 months later, Emily and Mark began exploring more of New York together. They discovered new neighborhoods, dined at newly opened restaurants, and even attended small concerts. Their relationship grew deeper, and Emily realized that love could come from the simplest things, like a right swipe on Tinder. What truly mattered was the connection, the sincerity, and the ability to open up. Emily and Mark eventually became a couple. They still continued chatting through the app, but not just with small talk or quick messages. Every day, they opened up a little more, and their love naturally blossomed, like a flower blooming in spring. Emily and Mark didn't just find each other through an app. They found themselves within this relationship. Their connection was not built on miracles or extraordinary events, but on the foundation of genuine connection, listening, and understanding. Their love cannot be measured by distance, because even though it started on a phone screen, it was the sharing and the real moments together that created a bond deeper than anything else. And that is the important lesson we must remember. Love doesn't always come from traditional ways or special romantic situations. It can start with a simple tap on a screen, or from a conversation that is simple, but full of sincerity. Think about this in the context of the modern world today. Technology may create physical distance between us, but it also offers opportunities for connection that we couldn't have imagined before. Yes, you might meet someone who isn't quite what you envisioned, someone who doesn't fit the mold of a classic love story, but through dating apps, you can meet real people you can connect with and understand deeply. Love today isn't just about sweet promises. It's about patience, long late-night conversations, being open, and getting to know each other bit by bit, even if you might not meet face-to-face right away. It's about daring to experience new things, whether through a first swipe on Tinder or an in-person encounter. And sometimes, love isn't about finding someone perfect. It's about finding someone who can walk beside you, share your dreams and struggles, and build a future together. What is truly valuable is that Emily and Mark's relationship didn't just develop from a dating app. It reflects a shift in how we view love and relationships in the age of technology. No longer are we waiting for romantic dates in luxurious restaurants, but rather enjoying long video chats, morning walks together in the park, or sharing our favorite movies through an app. These seemingly ordinary moments are what make the relationship truly enduring. Yes, love may start with a gentle tap on a screen, but the journey of love begins with conscious decisions and an open heart. You never know where such a simple experiment might lead you. And sometimes it's those seemingly short conversations that become the stepping stones for a lifelong relationship. Emily and Mark's story also brings us another message. Don't be afraid to try. Don't be afraid to open your heart and never give up. In today's world, where everything is changing rapidly, love is still something we seek, and it will come in ways you could never imagine. Don't let fears or worries stop you. Love can come from places you least expect: a quiet evening in a small room, a brief conversation through an app, or even a simple swipe on a phone screen. And then, when you look back, you'll realize that true love isn't a destination, but a journey where you walk alongside someone else, exploring new things together, overcoming challenges, and creating unforgettable moments. So, are you willing to try? Open your heart, experiment, and embrace the opportunities that technology brings. Because, as Emily and Mark have shown, there is no right or wrong way to love. It just needs honesty and a little courage to open your heart. Who knows, a swipe right in the future could be the very thing that changes your life. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the podcast. I hope the story of Emily and Mark has inspired you to never give up on love, to embrace new experiences, and to always keep your heart open to relationships full of potential. Remember, whether you're looking for love through a dating app or or in everyday life. The key is sincerity, patience, and the ability to truly connect. We'll see you in the next episodes, where we'll continue to explore unique love stories and dive deeper into how love can evolve in today's modern world. Love can come from places you least expect, and sometimes, with just one small step, you might find the greatest thing in your life.